I don't know about you, but I think not getting a good night's sleep totally sucks. And in my opinion, I think it's worse than even the menopause belly. Why do women over 40 have poor sleep as one of their top complaints? Well, you can think perimenopause and menopause. Yep, perimenopause, the time of 8 to 10 years before we hit menopause, our estrogen and progesterones are going up and down, fluctuating, and then we hit menopause and they plummet. These hormonal shifts can lead to symptoms like hot flashes, night sweats, and even increased anxiety, which all contribute to sleep disturbances. On top of this, as a woman ages, our melatonin decreases, and our melatonin, as you know, is our sleep hormone. Before we talk about solutions, let's talk about some signs to look for to see if your sleep is not up to par. But first, if you're new here, I'm Natalie Up, owner of Fired Up Fitness and the creator of the Midlife Mom Bod Tune-Up, where I've helped hundreds of women transform their peri to postmenopause years using proven methods for natural hormone support and weight loss. So if this sounds like you, make sure to like and subscribe to see more. Okay, so let's talk about those signs of inadequate sleep. First up, persistent fatigue. If you're walking around just barely functioning the next day, that's a sign you didn't get enough sleep. Next, you are making poor food choices. A lot of times our poor sleep trickles into the next day and causes us to not have quite the brain power to make good decisions with our nutrition. Another sign is you have difficulty falling asleep. That's not a normal thing. So if it's taking you longer than like 60 minutes to fall asleep, like 30 minutes is about normal, but if it's 30 to 60 minutes, that's too long, and it's a sign that you're struggling with some sleep problems. If you're frequently waking up multiple times a night, whether to go to the bathroom or you're just waking up and you are staying awake, that's also a sign that you are not getting good sleep. Mood swings and irritability. Sleep and mood are closely related, so sometimes it's not what's going on during your day, it's really what's happening at night. If you're having issues focusing or concentrating, sleep is crucial to our cognitive function, so this may be a sign that you're not getting good sleep. The last sign is physical discomfort. So if you're having headaches or a lot of tension in your body, these might be signs that you're not getting quality sleep. So even without counting the number of hours you're sleeping, these signs should be your wake-up call, shout out to all my pun lovers, that you need to be practicing new sleep habits. Yes, practicing sleep. Just like midlife nutrition and midlife exercise need new habit changes, so does our sleep. We actually have to practice at sleep now. But lucky for you, I've broken down these new habits into a checklist that I'm going to share with you today. For my clients, I schedule these habits that I'm going to talk about individually so they can work on and practice with consistency. It's really easy to say, oh yeah, I already do that. But do you do it on a consistent daily basis? It's very important to make these sleep habits, just like any nutrition habit, consistent to work up to getting that 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. I suggest working on 1 or 2 of these, and then when you get really good at those and consistent, build on. Many of the resources that I'm going to talk about are also in my Amazon store under my sleep and stress list. So to make it easy, I will put in the pinned comment, I will just put that link and it will list out many of the resources that I'm going to talk about. So let's talk about some midlife habits for quality sleep. First, you want to think about your light and their circadian rhythm. First thing in the morning, you want to think about this: sky before screens. I actually heard this from Dr. Amy Shaw, and I thought it was a genius way to remember this, but it's a great habit I was already doing. To help set your circadian rhythm, right after you wake up, you want to look for some sunlight. That doesn't have to be like full-blown sunshine. I know it's not sunny every single day, but for me, I have found that if I open up my blinds and start making the bed, that brings in some sunlight, some natural light. But because you really want to ideally get outside for at least 2 minutes, up to like 10 minutes if you want, then I go downstairs and I make some coffee. I let the dog out, but when you let the dog out or in, step outside, drink your few sips of coffee, and enjoy that natural light. So this is what you're going to help your circadian rhythm at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day. I want you after dinner, and it's starting to get dark outside. I want you to turn off all like overhead lights, anything with like canned lights or bright lights, and only use table lamps or floor lamps for the rest of the evening. Dimming the lights down will help your body know that it's winding down for a night of good sleep. So just try that and see how that light and circadian rhythm affects your sleep. Next is what you eat matters. Now, I know you're going to be totally shocked by this, but I'm going to tell you to please avoid or at least limit sugar and processed foods. And the reason for this is because it does affect your night's sleep, and especially if you wake up in the middle of the night. And you're waking up, if you are having too much of these, you're waking up because your liver and your pancreas are having to work overtime. And so they're kind of like, ah, and when they're going, ah, it's going to wake you up in the middle of the night. So try to be kind to those organs and limit those foods. We did the what, and now we're gonna do when you eat matters. When you eat or drink, that is, you want to be cutting caffeine at 2 p.m. each day. Do not go past 2 p.m. If it's 2 p.m., just put a hard rule. You're not having afternoon lattes or coffees or pop for that matter. So cut the caffeine at 2 p.m. The other thing that you want to do is not eat 3 hours before bed. So ideally, we want to be aiming to fall asleep around 10 p.m. I know that's going to be a stretch for some of you, but that's kind of our first goal. And so that, to back that up, that would be stopping all food or drink at 7 p.m. So no caffeine after 2, no food or drink after 7. So if we're trying to get to sleep around 10 p.m., we need to start preparing for sleep about an hour earlier or around 9 p.m. And I want you to prepare by doing 3 things. The first thing is making sure you have enough magnesium to help you feel calm and help you kind of have a little bit more sleepiness to be ready to go to sleep. A lot of us are become deficient when we're in midlife. So a lot of people our age, midlife, need that magnesium. You can get it in 2 ways. You can take a nice warm Epsom salt bath. It's very relaxing, would be great. The other way that's super easy is just to do a magnesium complex. And that's what I personally do. Sometimes I do the bath, but I'll admit it's not something that happens a whole lot in my house, but the magnesium supplement is super easy, and it's in my Amazon store under that sleep and stress list. Your next thing that you're gonna do to prepare is not to overdress to go to bed. You want to get in your comfiest PJs, but make sure they're light, or your favorite bedtime t-shirt that you only wear at bedtime, because you want it to only be something that your mind relates to bed. So you're not wearing like a workout t-shirt that you just wore earlier also to bed. Some people like to sleep naked, but the key is to dress as cool as you can. Even if you feel cold when you're going to bed, the odds are that you might get warm. Remember those night sweats. So you're trying to avoid getting too hot while you're in bed. The last thing you're going to want to do to prepare for sleep is stop all electronics. So that means phone and TV. No, I get it. I know it's hard, and it's very hard in my house because my husband doesn't think that he needs good sleep. So we're fighting that every single night, that I am trying to protect my sleep at all costs, and he's like, I'll sleep when I'm dead. But that being said, if it's hard for you not to avoid electronics altogether 60 minutes before bed, get yourself some blue blocking glasses. I got mine off Amazon. Again, it's in my store, but I will tell you, the nights that I actually put these on, I mean, they're just like clear. I mean, you just, there's no like prescription in them or anything. But when I wear these, even to watch a show with him right before bed, or even to get on my phone, I sleep so much better than when I don't wear them. Next up is setting the mood. First, remember that your bed is not for work. It is only for sleep and sex. So keep that in mind when you're getting into this comfy place. Next, you want to keep your room dark, cool, and quiet. Cool being setting the thermostat, and we do ours on, we have a programmable one, so you probably do too, anywhere between 60 and 67 degrees to keep your room cold enough to help you sleep. The second it feels hotter than Hades in midlife, it is going to wake you up, I promise you. The exception to the quiet part of this is some white noise. White noise is perfectly fine, and we personally do this every night with a fan. Lastly, to block out any extra light that you might have, I highly suggest a eye mask. I love my eye mask. I don't know. I think I've been using these for probably like 4 years now. And now I can't sleep without it. I travel with it. I've gone through, this probably is my third one. But I love a nice satin or silk eye mask. I'm not sure if this is satin or silk. I think this is satin actually. But again, I will have this linked in my store. You just want something, it's adjustable, it's super comfortable. And I've got one of my daughters also wears one too. I swear by these things. The last habit that we're going to talk about is easing your mind into sleep. And the reason why we need to practice this is because in the menopause transition, we tend to have higher anxiety levels. I know even last summer, I was like, what is happening? I've never even been an anxious person or have anxiety, but I could just feel it all the time. That's hormones and that's anxiety. But we do need to find ways to deal with it. If you are suddenly waking up at 3 a.m., I don't know why it's always 3 a.m., but it's always 3 a.m. for me, and it's like you shoot out of bed and your mind is instantly racing, like it's just going racing. That's anxiety. So if you're having that, you need to really focus on these tips I'm going to tell you. I'm going to break them into 3 things. If you've experienced that 3 a.m. anxiety, comment down below with 3 a.m. Let's see how many people have actually experienced this. So the first thing you're going to do is make sure you have a notebook with a pen and pencil next to your bed, like in a drawer or whatever. And when you get into bed, if it's one of those nights that your mind is racing and you can't turn off your brain, I want you to use that notebook for a brain dump. This is where you are just going to write down everything that you're thinking about that you need to get done the next day, or, in a couple weeks, or buy for the kids, or, whatever it is. I don't know, or something's bothering you and you need to talk to so-and-so. Write it down. Get it out of your brain so it's not spinning in your brain while you're trying to sleep. So that's the first thing you're going to do. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to turn off your lamp, because that's the only light that should be on, and you're going to grab your eye mask, place it on your eyes, and lay down. And when you lay down, I want you to think about in your head 3 things that you're grateful for that happened that day, or that, is about that day. And actually in your brain, think to yourself, I am grateful for blank. Fill in the blank, and I want you to do that for 3 different things. And then I want you to even repeat that a couple times. So repeat those 3 things a couple times of what you're grateful for. Having gratitude bookend the end of our day really is just brings calm and ease to our mind. After you've given gratitude, I want you then to do some deep breathing to further calm your brain. And if you're not a big fan of deep breathing or you don't think it works, just try this. I'm going to challenge you to do this. And what I like to do is a 4-7-8 deep breathing method when I'm lying in bed with my mask and my eyes closed. So you're going to take a deep breath in for 4 counts. Hold that hold your breath for 7 counts, counting in your head, and then you're going to exhale for 8 counts. So 4, 7, 8. And you're going to repeat that. Repeat it, I don't know. Sometimes I'll do it like 3 times. Sometimes I'll do it like 5 times. Just depends on, how much I feel like I need to calm myself down. But that's one of the last things I do before I actually fall asleep. And I tell you, it really helps to ease your mind. So I know that sounds like a lot of habits, and our ultimate goal is try to get in bed asleep by hopefully around 10 o'clock. And the reason why it's around 10 o'clock is because research has shown that the earlier that we can get to bed before midnight, the deeper and more restorative sleep that we have. So if you can do 10:30 maybe, go for that. And I know that this sounds like a lot of habits and a lot of steps to try to get good sleep, but sleep is so important. It's more important than your nutrition. If you do not have your nutrition down or your sleep down, I want you to focus on sleep first, okay? So pick one of these things that you're not already doing on a nightly basis or a daily basis for that matter, because some of them are during the day. I want you to start there. Get really good and consistent at it, and then add another one on top of that until you're doing everything on the list. If you're doing everything on this list and it's still not working, feel free to message me and we'll try to troubleshoot. If you found this video helpful, please like and share it with your friends. And if you need more step-by-step guidance, make sure to check out my midlife mom bod tune-up. Well, looks like it's time to go. Hope you're feeling fired up. Bye.